20 days, everybody. That's how long the wait is now until College Football 25. That's when the early release is going to be anyway, and I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this game. The more we learn, the more excited I get about the game, and today we're going to talk about the Sights and Sounds trailer and deep dive that they dropped today. Before we knew anything official, I was really wondering how far they'd go with presentation, looking at a game like Madden and how little that's been addressed, but knowing how critical that can be to the college football experience. That's definitely been something they've emphasized, and there's a lot to go through today. So for more College Football 25 information and content, subscribe here to the channel, and also leave a like if you're enjoying these videos leading up to the release of College Football 25. Looking forward to Dynasty and Road to Glory talk, but let's talk presentation, sights, and sounds today. To the article where they outline the vision. During our development, we came in every day with the reminder that every team is someone's favorite team. This led to us focusing on ensuring the presentation contained as much of the detail, sights, sounds, and traditions of the 134 FBS schools as possible. Picture this, you are playing as Penn State, getting ready to take on your opponent. This all starts with your team running out of the tunnel to Zombie Nation, blasting and the whole stadium chanting, "We are Penn State." We recreated that feeling, sound, and visuals of pregame as if you are down on the field with them. There is nothing like it, and we wanted to make sure that you could experience the same feeling that these players have when you're walking out as your favorite team. Traditions. Game day tradition is a key element of what separates Saturday from Sunday all around the country. Knowing this, we went to painstaking lengths to build out and capture the sights and sounds of college football. Runouts. To nail that authentic feeling of college football, the school atmosphere is where it all begins. Walk out of the tunnel with 100,000 family and friends screaming for you, supporting you. We stay up close and personal with our camera style throughout the game. This is done so you can feel the excitement with our epic runouts for each team and feel like you are just as much a part of this team as the real players. The footage they've shown in trailers so far definitely captures this really well. Motion capture was the key to ensuring the accuracy and detail of all the props, from historical items to the brand new traditions of game day. Every prop was built to its accurate size and weight, then mocapped in the studio, allowing real people to interact with them. Simply using a stand-in object would not replicate authenticity. We built a 2-story ramp to replicate the hill for the Clemson runout. We hired stunt actors to give us their best jumps in the middle of the hill and run down that ramp like they were getting ready to meet their rival for the biggest game of their lives. We built the Notre Dame stairs, leading to the classic tradition of tapping on the "Play Like a Champion" sign. For Purdue, we built their rotating bass drum to pay off their pregame show. Georgia, Boston College, Louisiana Lafayette, and Florida State each have tear-through banners when they enter the field. To mocap this, we first created a door frame to mocap the header touches, like for Virginia Tech, Wisconsin, and many others. Then we hung pool noodles from the top of that. The players ran through, tearing between the pool noodles to simulate the effect of ripping the banner down the middle. For the Gators tunnel, we traveled to Gainesville to get an exact scan of the Gator statue that the players tap on their way from the locker room to the field. We also created a prop with the exact height to mocap tapping the Gator head, then walking down the tunnel to the swamp sign overhead. While these are just a few examples of the lengths we went to, you can be sure there is something for fans of every team. We're talking cannons going off for kickoffs and touchdowns, smoke for UCF's touchdowns, and all the way to the fountain at Arkansas State. I've talked about how impressive I think the visuals are for all this presentation. I'm really hoping they can capture the audio as well. I don't think any of this has the same impact without really good audio. And now that I've experienced great game audio and my expectations are higher in that department, I really hope they're able to deliver. Because that's one thing playing sports games that I don't think is captured quite right. In the games I play anyway, Madden and MLB primarily. Speaking of game day, mascots are one of the most fun aspects of college football. The variety and detail is unmatched across sports. This encompasses everything from humans in massive costumes to real animals. We have 50 total mascots in the game, including 40 team mascots and 10 real animals representing their schools. For the mascots, we initially did a lot of internal research for each one, checking on what's unique about each mascot and what fans enjoy most about them. For example, the Texas Hook'em had Follow Me Eyes. The team worked to get that same level of practical effect in the game. Along the way, we talked to alumni and our school contacts to find out even more little details. Mascots such as the Stanford tree that change every year, or even animal mascots that grew over time, such as Ralphie from Colorado. We did adjustments on her as she aged into her reigns. Fun things that we learned along the way, like how Boomer and Sooner have the OU logo painted on their hooves. Alright, so a lot of that encompasses pre-game. Turnover traditions now. We got something for during the game. When I'm throwing my regular 3 to 4 interceptions a game, what can we expect to see? Not only do we have the classic school traditions in the game, but the new era of traditions, including turnover and touchdown props, made it into the game as well. All this action takes place during gameplay, and examples of what you might see are chainsaws, championship belts, basketball hoops, and even a throne. I think this is a really cool touch. It's become a big part of both college and pro sports in recent years, but more so with college. I really wonder if they're going to let you choose what tradition you want for your school, so you can change it maybe from year to year. A lot of these teams don't keep the same traditions from one year to the next. The field we play on. Where you play is one of the most important aspects of your experience. We are proud to say we worked hard to deliver as many stadiums with as much accuracy as possible. This was achieved by visiting local venues such as the University of Florida to gather detailed references from every corner of the stadium that we could possibly find. For schools that were farther away, we requested reference materials and over 80 schools responded, providing an average of 1,000 photos each, amounting to a staggering amount of nearly 80,000 photos to reference from. Additionally, we plan to update stadiums post-launch as we receive new architecture and designs from schools so that CFB 25 is authentic to everything you see on Saturdays. From what I've seen so far, the stadiums look very good, crowds look very good. From a strictly atmosphere standpoint, it seems like nothing we've seen before in a football game. To streamline the stadium creation process, the team utilized a specialized stadium toolkit that allowed us to develop all of the essential structures for a stadium in record time. Things like tunnels, stairs, and stands are crucial to the authenticity of a college stadium. This allowed us to curate that for you. This toolkit enabled the artist to focus on crafting unique architectural details and implementing real-time lighting effects, ensuring that each stadium was both accurate and visually stunning. This efficient workflow allowed the team to meet the ambitious goal of building over 150 stadiums within a single production cycle while maintaining high quality and attention to detail. What I'm wondering here is, with all the things they've streamlined in that process, if it's going to lead us to being able to make cool stadiums in Teambuilder, or what that experience is going to be like. I think there's still going to be a Teambuilder deep dive that I'm really curious about. College threads are ever changing each year and even game to game for some teams. Real-world uniforms are made with countless variations of cloth material, stitching patterns, colors, patches, stripes, logos, names, and numbers. To be able to create uniforms for 134 teams with multiple variations and helmets, we had to create a brand new tool set which allowed artists and designers to build uniforms in real time, seeing their work instantly in Engine. This allowed the team to create incredibly detailed uniforms across 134 different schools. We all know uniforms are an important part of college football, and I'm hoping there's just a massive catalog for every team. There's been so many redesigns, especially with Nike getting their hands on a lot more uniforms over the years, but I hope that there's a lot of historic and different eras represented throughout the game. Next up, we get more into the audio, the stuff I've been curious about. So we've got the crowd, band, cheerleaders, chants, PA music between plays. Crowd noise. Over the last 2 seasons, we worked with ESPN to capture crowd audio straight from their broadcasts. From Autzen Stadium to Death Valley, both of them, and more. This content will function as our crowd noise, swells, and reactions that you'll experience in every game you play. Remember that OT game from 2022 between LSU and Alabama? Yeah, we were there and we got all of it. In addition to that game in Baton Rouge, we ended up capturing crowd noise from 41 games in places like Oregon State, Georgia, FSU, and a long list of other schools. This is my fight song. One of our feature producers, Torsten Staley, Oregon Marching Band alumni, traveled to Nashville to record every team's fight song. We utilized an amazing group of musicians who were just as passionate as us in getting these songs right. Many were previous students and alumni from schools like Oklahoma, North Texas, Vandy, USC, Auburn, and Tennessee. Crowd themes. Another example of what makes college football so special are the theme games when the crowd comes together in unison to create a pattern across the stadium. From the checkered board pattern at Tennessee to the triple stripe layout at Boise State. We have over 170 different patterns for schools that have them in real life. Each seat in the stadium was hand set up seat by seat to match the patterns. Also, if your school has multiple themes, those are in too. Here we have the stripe out, the helmet stripe, and then to one of the most electric atmospheres in college football, the whiteout game. Dynamic attendance. This is something I haven't expected in a sports game for a long time, but a new feature to help bring more authenticity into the game revolves around attendance levels in the stadium. To help paint a better picture, here is a great example from one of our team members who was playing a Dynasty with Florida International University. During the first couple games, the stands were not very full, which resulted in a lower home field advantage stadium pulse. Once he landed a big win on the road at Indiana, and the team record was 7-0, the stands were becoming more full to start the game. By the end of the season, with a 10-1 record and finishing in the top 25 rankings, home games would result in sellout crowds, and the home field advantage pulse meter was now rocking high on the way to the conference championship. That is awesome. We all love going in the Dynasty and building up teams, and that means teams that aren't great, aren't going to bowl games, winning conference championships, and having all these great seasons. So we've already become used to like that development of an actual team, but to have like the stadium and crowd reflect that team's growth is an element I know all of us would appreciate. Crowd section layouts. In addition to seeing the unison of the crowd come together for key matchups, each and every stadium is set up with its band section, away visitors, and student section. Also, schools are equipped with pageantry props accurate to life, such as pom-poms at Michigan and Tennessee, towels at South Carolina and Pitt, and even the tiger tails for Missouri. High energy student sections. The student section is the lifeblood of the stadium that brings the energy, passion, and emotion that spreads across the full stadium, creating that over-the-top college football atmosphere that we all love. We all know what the students do all game, stand and cheer, so in game, the student section stands the whole game cheering on their team. We captured both male and female actors screaming at the top of their lungs to recreate those high-intensity third down moments. Not only are the big moments captured, but also the heartbreaking ones. Anyone remember the surrender cobra? It's in the game. Just don't miss that game-winning field goal and you will be spared. Next up, hand signals. We researched schools and captured each team's hand signal traditions during pregame runouts and after positive plays throughout the game. Few examples include this long list of various teams, and plus many more. Chants. Another huge tradition essential to college football is stadium-wide chants. The fans, alumni, and students all work together to fire up their players as an inspirational rally cry, or to intimidate the opposition when your favorite team needs a critical stop. For schools we weren't able to visit, we went to the top of the parking garage at our Orlando studio and yelled out each chant over and over again to nail down the pace and accuracy for each chant needed. 11 sessions later, we ended up capturing over 220 chants for our game. From OHIO for Ohio State to the third down chirps for the Cardinals of Ball State. We've covered as many as possible. Not only will you hear the chants, but many are timed to the mass crowd movements like Let's Go Blue, with the crowd pumping their arms into the air 3 times, or the war chant with the whole stadium doing the tomahawk chop. Here is another list of chants you can expect to see in the game, including schools like Appalachian State, Liberty, Minnesota, and more. And then we get to the voices in the booth. We already knew there would be multiple teams in this game, but the celebrated team of Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit will be on the call in your Dynasty and Road to Glory seasons, when your weekly matchup is declared the game of the week. They will also be present if you reach a conference championship game, each game of the college football playoff, and the national championship game. But like I said, we have 2 teams that will be part of your playing experience, referring back to the Thursday night broadcast in the final year of our original iteration. The iconic crew of Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, and David Pollock will be on the call for the other games on your Dynasty and Road to Glory schedule. Each team will be available in play now when you're looking to get a quick game in. We chose these talented individuals because of the impact they've had in the commentary space for college football, and we felt it was best to give you the most authentic and unique experience to date. The team recorded 68,000 lines, over 870 hours, and all of it was recorded remotely in the talents' homes and in at least 3 different countries. I think that's pretty cool to have the primetime feel with Herbstreit and Fowler calling a game. I love to have them calling every game, but I think that's a good choice on their parts. This actually makes me kind of sad that I don't have commentary on when I'm playing my games, so that I can have my own commentary for my videos, but I think it's great for the game to have these 2 teams. Studio updates. As fans of college football, we know that week-to-week games are happening all the time. Through studio updates, you'll be informed of the latest news from around the country. Longtime ESPN studio host Kevin Connors will be jumping in from time to time to call out national upsets, score for games you care about in your conference, or updates on how your rival is doing in Dynasty mode. These updates will happen whether you are playing in a Dynasty that is online or offline. For an online Dynasty, you'll hear about scores from the other members in your Dynasty if they have already finished their matchup that week. That's pretty cool. No season is complete without a championship celebration. Celebrations come with the glamour, flair, and the most important aspect of all, the hardware. We built each trophy from scratch, matching the weight and dimensions of real-life trophies such as the National Championship. After building the foundations, we brought the trophies into the mocap studio and had the team hold these trophies as if they had just won. We did this to maximize our authenticity when you celebrate in-game. You will see players actually feeling the weight when they hold the championship trophy. What I'm wondering is if they record multiple different celebrations, because in a lot of these games, there's one different Super Bowl celebration for that year, and it'd be nice if there were 7 and you'd get a random one. I don't know what all goes into these mocap deals, but I've always wanted a little bit more unpredictability over what was going to happen. Picture-in-picture and game flow. Presentation is not just about the visuals and audio, but how the game flows and feels from play to play. We have built a whole new look and feel to the game that takes our authentic atmosphere and pageantry wrapped into our new streamlined picture-in-picture dynamic play call experience. This is reminding me, I gotta see if this is actually accurate, but it reminds me of Madden 06 a little bit. I think the 360 version experimented with this. So they developed a new play call screen early in the production cycle, tested dozens of layout variations until finding the right one. Once the play is finished, the screen shrinks to the top left corner as replays and pageantry continue to show. You can start navigating the playbook while also viewing important updates and informative data in the top right corner. I like this a lot. We're going to have the chance to see stat comparisons between today, season, career, last week, and versus the opponent, impact players, who they are, and what those players' abilities are, rankings, top players from around the country in touchdowns, rushing yards, etc., rankings, conference, media, coaches poll, potential playoff brackets, wear and tear, field goal kicker range, and much more. We have over 400 panels. Man, I like the sound of that. And I like this idea for the play call menu. This, to me, is a big improvement. And with a lot more information there at your fingertips, it's the kind of thing I've wanted to see in these games. To me, having to pause the game to find information is a negative that takes you out of the experience. And while this wouldn't eliminate the need to perhaps go edit a depth chart or something, I think this is a really nice touch. And that brings us to the end of this deep dive. I am just looking forward to the game even more. I know I was hesitant, leading up to the official information to get too hyped up, and now I'm definitely having this game as probably my most look forward to game of the year. We've all been waiting for this game for a very long time, and it looks like they're going to be hitting on a lot of the key areas that we wanted to see better. We're still waiting to see some more information on Road to Glory and Dynasty. I'm hopeful for those modes as well. What I'm looking forward to most is just having more to work with as a creator when it comes to trying to create atmosphere in episodes that I make. Those of you that watch the channel know how I like to do my franchise and Dynasty content, and I've always wanted to see more out of the pregame to really capture, those big matchups and hype up various games. And it seems this game's going to give me a lot more to work with, and I'm very excited about that. I'm really hoping that when you do a Teambuilder Dynasty, and hopefully we learn more about that soon, that you can also still have your own program traditions and a good pregame and the stadium detail. I don't want it to feel like you have to make all these sacrifices to play Teambuilder and lose out on the pregame flair and the turnover celebrations. I'm hoping that we get info on that soon. That's one of my next big questions now with the game. But I'd love to know your thoughts down below, everybody. How much does this information matter to you? Does it influence how excited you are for the game? And let me know what you're most excited to see. As we're under 3 weeks away from the early release of the game, I'm expecting more and more information, and hopefully a few more deep dives to go over, and when those drop, I'll be here to cover them. So again, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more College Football 25 coverage and content. Thank you all for watching today's video, and I will see you again next time. Have a great day.